I accidentally nick my finger by the river, and a few drops of blood fall onto a cluster of frog eggs. Next thing I know, I've scored myself a mutant frog son, and I have absolutely no idea any of this is happening. After a long day of delivery runs, I drag myself home and crash. Then, in the dead of night, frantic knocking jolts me awake. I stumble to the door, grumbling the whole way. The next second, a mosquito the size of a pigeon launches straight at my face. I jump back in a panic. One bite from that thing and I'd be dangerously anemic. 2 bites? Lights out. Just then a massive figure appears, a muscular man with the head of a frog. He whips out his tongue and swallows the giant mosquito whole. Watching this, I don't feel relieved. I feel even more hopeless. I've been stuck in this beast-infested world for 6 months now. No cheat code, no wise old mentor, fine, whatever. But I had to cross over into the body of a guy with literally zero savings. So I do what I know, food delivery, and somehow survive in this crazy world. And today alone, I've already been attacked by 2 beasts. I slam the door shut as fast as I can. Then I bolt to the bedroom, dive under the covers, and wrap myself up tight. Trembling like a leaf, I pray silently. But the universe has other plans. The knocking starts again, and a voice follows. Daddy, open up. Daddy, are you abandoning me? Why won't you open the door? I followed your scent all the way from the river. Daddy, you can't just leave me out here. You're calling me what, Daddy? I am not your dad. The smell. One sniff and I just knew. You're my daddy. We smell exactly the same, you and me. I immediately lift my arm and take a sniff. Nothing unusual, but when the frog kid mentions being born at the river, something clicks. I cut my finger at the river this evening, and a wild theory starts forming in my head. Could my blood awakening actually break biological barriers and create hybrid creatures? I might actually be this frog's father. So you came here to find your dad, not to eat me? Eat you? Why would I eat you? Are humans even tasty? But I'm really hungry, Daddy. Do you have any food? This conversation is going nowhere. I open the door. The moment the door swings open, the frog barrels straight into me and sends me crashing to the floor. He charges right past me into the room. Daddy, why are you lying on the floor? Kill you? You're my daddy. Why would I kill you? Then why did you knock me over? My voice goes up a notch. He blinks those huge frog eyes, looking deeply wronged. Daddy, I was hungry. I spotted a swarm of mosquitoes behind you and I was scared they'd get away. Daddy, your mosquitoes taste amazing. He licks his lips after saying it, looking absolutely savoring the memory. While I'm still processing all this, my phone blares an emergency alert from the bedroom. Attention all citizens of Irongate City. A beast swarm has been detected. This time it's mosquitoes. If surrounded, you will be drained of blood within seconds. Seal all windows and doors. Do not go outside. Ever since the beasts first appeared, humanity has been scrambling for ways to fight back. One of the most critical systems is the early warning network. Whenever beasts appear in an area, the local cell towers push emergency alerts to every phone in the zone. While I'm still shaking from what almost happened, blood-curdling screams erupt from the building across the street. No time to be scared. I scramble up and rush to close the windows, but a swarm has already slipped through the living room window. They're less than 10 feet away and closing fast. Then Ribbit snaps out his tongue. In just a few flicks, every last mosquito in the room is gone, swallowed whole, and he still finds time to comment, Daddy, these mosquitoes are delicious. I stare at this dumb and adorable frog face and finally get it. Frogs eat mosquitoes, totally natural. And unless I'm imagining it, Ribbit looks slightly taller than before. If it tastes that good, eat as many as you want. Saying that doesn't stop me from rushing around to seal every single window shut. Once everything is locked down, I head back to the bedroom. I pick up my phone and check the latest alerts. Attention all citizens of Irongate City. The beast swarm has been classified as city class. All residents must seal their homes immediately. Those with mosquito repellent or similar supplies, stay ready. Eliminate on sight. Reading this, I let out a sharp breath. It's been 10 years since beasts first appeared. Humanity still has no idea where they come from, or why they're here on Blue Star. But after years of fighting, we've learned a thing or two. Based on the destruction they cause, beasts are ranked: village class, town class, county class, city class, national class, continental class, and star class. Whether anything exists beyond star class, nobody knows. The ranking system exists so ordinary people can immediately understand what they're up against. A village class beast showing up a few kilometers away? Even without an awakened on the scene, conventional weapons can handle it. But this mosquito swarm has been rated city class, which means every single person inside Irongate City is at risk. To date, the highest ranked beast ever recorded on Blue Star was national class. When it appeared, it wiped out an entire small nation. Back then, the awakened weren't strong enough to stop it. In the end, nuclear weapons were the only thing that took it down. The cost? That nation was erased from the map entirely. The few survivors were scattered across other countries. This is the world I live in. Beasts lurking around every corner. And I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag. The hopelessness hits hard. I slump onto the bed. I mindlessly scroll through short videos, not processing a single one. My head is full of nothing but despair. The feeling of being completely powerless, utterly at the mercy of this world, closes in around me. Just then, Ribbit seems to pick up on my mood. Daddy, you seem really unhappy. I look at those huge round frog eyes and that ridiculously oversized mouth. That idea creeps back into my mind. I want to go back to the river and test my theory. Then I think about the swarm outside and shut that idea down immediately. Instead, I get up and head to the kitchen. I grab an egg from the fridge and prepare to run an experiment. Then I notice Ribbit crouching right beside me. Hey, could you give me a minute alone? The moment I say that, those big round eyes instantly well up with tears. Daddy, are you kicking me out? No, don't cry, I'm not kicking you out. Just go wait in the living room for a bit, I need to do something. The moment he realizes I'm not abandoning him, the tears vanish instantly. But Daddy, I'm so sleepy, I ate too much. Come with me then. Daddy will find you a spot to sleep. I do my best impression of a parent and walk him over to the living room. I settle him on the sofa and even tuck a small blanket around him. The moment he lies down, his eyelids are already fighting to stay open. Kids, out the moment they hit the cushion. I shake my head, go back to the bedroom, and lock the door. Then I squeeze a few drops of blood from my cut and let them fall onto 2 eggs. I stare at the eggs on the desk without blinking. Nearly an hour passes, nothing. The eggs just sit there. I give up on the eggs and go to bed. The next morning, I'm dead asleep, face down on the pillow. Then the knocking starts. Daddy, open up, I'm hungry. Stop knocking, I'm coming. I rub the pillow crease off my face and suddenly remember last night's experiment. The eggs are still there, still just eggs, with no sign of hatching. This approach clearly isn't working. I'm disappointed. Ever since I figured out Ribbit's origin, I've had high hopes for my blood. If my blood can really hatch human-beast hybrids, I could build an entire army of monsters. But it's clearly not that simple. Daddy, I'm so hungry, I need food. Ribbit sees me zoning out and ignoring him completely, so he runs over, grabs my arm and starts shaking me. I'm fully jolted awake, and I notice Ribbit looks taller again. Stop shaking me, you'll rattle me apart. I'll make you food, okay? I grab the 2 eggs off the desk and head to the kitchen to make instant noodles with a couple of poached eggs. The moment the eggs hit the pan, a random fact I read years ago suddenly pops into my head. Store-bought eggs are almost always unfertilized. They can't hatch anything. They're just food. It hits me like a freight train. What if the eggs failed because they were never fertilized to begin with? Lost in thought, I realize the noodles are already done. Not sure how much Ribbit can eat, I start with just 1 pack. Ribbit smells the noodles and reaches in before they're even served. He scoops them straight from the pot, chews a few times and his face melts into pure bliss. While I'm standing there in shock, he's already finished every last noodle and both poached eggs. Not even a drop of broth is left. Daddy, that was incredible, I want more. He holds out the bowl, licked spotlessly clean, still clearly craving more. Hold on, I'll make another batch. This time I cook 4 packs, 2 for each of us. Once it's ready, I fill my bowl and hand everything else, noodles and broth, to Ribbit. I eat my noodles and think through my next move. But what exactly am I supposed to experiment on? Daddy, I want more. Ribbit has already cleaned his portion, impressive kid, but that appetite is going to be a serious problem. On my delivery driver's salary, I'm honestly not sure I can afford to feed him. With no other option, I slide my half-finished bowl over to him as I get up to take the dishes to the kitchen. Passing through the living room, I catch a glimpse of the succulent on the balcony. An idea sparks. I pinch off a leaf and let a single drop of blood fall onto it. Then I press my hands together and pray with everything I've got. Please let this experiment work. I set the leaf in the bedroom and go wash the dishes. Ribbit spots me coming out of the kitchen, holding out his bowl with both hands. Those enormous eyes stare up at me with the most pitiful expression. Oh come on, there's genuinely nothing left. At this rate, you're going to eat me into bankruptcy. Ribbit actually understands me, and as reluctant as he is, he drops the bowl and gives up asking. My heart almost gives in, but reason wins out. We need to ration right now. I finish washing up and drop myself onto the beat-up sofa. Ribbit quietly settles in beside me. What's your name? He shakes his big head. I don't have one. Then let me give you one. How about Ribbit? Yes, I love it. Having a name makes him genuinely happy, and when he's happy, he just has to jump. One jump, and he slams his head straight into the ceiling. I stare at the fresh dent in the ceiling. Then I look down at Ribbit crouching on the floor, clutching his head. I'm stunned. He's barely 3 feet tall. The ceiling is at least 9 feet high. Without a roof, he'd go even higher. Ribbit would jump even higher. And apparently his skull is basically concrete. He left an actual dent up there. And Ribbit just rubs his head a few times and shakes it off like nothing happened. In this moment, I absolutely lose it with excitement. I've struck gold. I've genuinely struck gold. Ribbit, come here and try to pick me up. Let's see if you can. Okay, sure. Ribbit obediently walks over. He wraps both arms around my legs and lifts me clean off the ground, effortlessly. And that's not even the impressive part. He actually jumps while holding me. I find myself inches from the ceiling, heart hammering. 1 inch higher and my head would have had a very bad meeting with that ceiling. Okay, put me down now. But the more I look at Ribbit, the more impressed I am. Ribbit, do you have any other family? He shakes his big head. Nope, just you, Daddy. Fair enough. For whatever reason, tracking down a mother clearly isn't on his agenda. I give the top of his big frog head a gentle pat. Surprisingly, it feels pretty nice. Not slimy at all like I expected. You stay with me from now on. Whatever I have, you'll have too. In this moment, I truly and fully accept Ribbit as my son. Just then, Ribbit suddenly turns his head. He stares toward the bedroom on high alert, and now I can hear it too. Something's moving in there. Did mosquitoes get inside? I creep to the bedroom door, press my ear against it, then signal Ribbit with a look. He immediately takes position at the door, ready to strike. I throw the door open. Something tiny comes flying straight at me. I don't even have time to see what it is. Ribbit's tongue shoots out and snatches it mid-air, pulled right into his mouth. Don't eat it! Even I didn't expect Ribbit to move that fast. I hear the tiny thing cry out, Daddy, and then it hits me, my experiment, the succulent leaf. This little creature is the one I created. Spit it out, that's your little sister. Ribbit immediately spits her out. Lucky, he hadn't swallowed yet. Ignoring the frog saliva situation, I cup my hands and catch her. I raise her up to eye level. It worked. It actually worked. A tiny humanoid creature about 4 inches tall lies in my palm, struggling to sit up. She's completely green, the exact same shade as the succulent she came from. She stares up at me, still shaken. Daddy, what was that thing? It terrified me. That was your big brother. Ribbit, he was just playing around. Big brother? She looks up at Ribbit's massive frog head, eyes lighten up. It really is, I can feel it. Ribbit scratches his head awkwardly. He feels it too. The tiny creature he almost ate moments ago, there's an undeniable bond between them. She's still covered in Ribbit's saliva. I pull out a tissue and carefully wipe her clean. Total girl dad mode activated. Are you hungry? Daddy will make you some noodles. She shakes her head. I'm not hungry, just a little thirsty. I immediately go pour her some water, she's so tiny. Just a few drops and she's satisfied. Honestly, I'm relieved. I already have one bottomless pit to feed, I can't afford another. I'm Finn, your brother's Ribbit, and you, I'll call you Jade. Standing on the desk, Jade breaks into a happy little dance the moment she hears her name. Once she finishes her dance, I lay my palm flat on the desk. Jade hops onto my palm and I ask curiously, Jade, do you have any kind of special ability? She tilts her head thinking, then suddenly transforms into a beam of green light that envelops my entire body. Daddy, you're so green, you match my head. Ribbit excitedly lunges at me, and the moment he makes contact with the barrier shield surrounding me, he gets bounced straight back. He lands on the floor looking baffled. Daddy, why did you hit me? Then it strikes me like lightning. Jade's ability is no joke. This is a full-on defensive skill. I make a fist and tap my own thigh. Zero impact on my leg, but my fist bounces right off. The barrier shield wraps completely around whoever it's protecting. Any physical attack gets reflected right back at the attacker. The only question is whether it can block elemental attacks. Understanding Jade's skill, I'm buzzing with excitement. I feel one step closer to building a real special ability team. 6 months in this world, and not a single day has passed without fear. But now, maybe I can finally sleep soundly. I'm still daydreaming when Ribbit cuts in. Daddy, I'm hungry. Didn't you just eat? How are you hungry again? Daddy, hungry. I turn to Jade with a tired look. Jade, are you hungry? Daddy, I'm fine. She barely finishes the sentence before her stomach lets out a loud rumble. Jade ducks her tiny head in embarrassment, refusing to meet my eyes. I gently stroke her little head with my thumb and say softly, it's okay. Daddy's making food for you. Jade isn't just adorable, she's remarkably thoughtful. Her stomach is eating itself and she still claims she's not hungry. Unlike a certain frog who literally thinks about nothing but food and couldn't care less about what it does to his dad's wallet. I head straight to the kitchen and cook up the last few packs of instant noodles we have left. Since Jade has plant DNA, she probably needs more hydration than most. I grab a carton of milk specifically for her. Ribbit pipes up, Daddy, I have frog DNA. Don't I need more water than a succulent? Not my problem. Jade is my little sweetheart and a sweetheart with a barrier shield. Don't let Jade's tiny size fool you. Her appetite is absolutely staggering. 1 pack of noodles and a full carton of milk, gone in no time. She drains every last drop of the broth too. As for Ribbit, 2 more packs and a giant bowl of broth. Watching these two inhale their food, every bit of excitement I felt just moments ago fades away completely. 2 kids with appetites like this, I can barely afford them. What good is an army of hundreds if they all starve before they even grow up? The dream of a monster army is just that, a dream. I slap my own cheeks and snap back to reality. Right now the real problem is we're out of food, and there's still a mosquito swarm raging outside. With no solution in sight, I do the only logical thing. Go back to sleep. Can't be hungry if you're unconscious. You two entertain yourselves, and don't go outside. Daddy's taking a nap. With that, I retreat to the bedroom. After last night's chaos, I barely slept at all. The moment my head hits the pillow, I'm out. And I dream. In the dream, I lead my army across Blue Star, and every beast that dares to show itself gets swept away without effort. And I become the greatest hero Blue Star has ever known. Living free, traveling the world, the stuff of legends. Just as the dream reaches its peak, I'm yanked awake. Daddy, wake up, I'm starving! I bolt upright and see Ribbit kneeling right beside me with those pleading eyes. Before I can say anything, my own stomach growls. I'm hungry too. It's already past 5 in the afternoon. All I've had today is 1 pack of noodles this morning. Of course I'm starving. As for Ribbit, with his metabolism, making it this long without food is practically a miracle. Daddy, I'm sorry. I couldn't hold him back. Jade stands on my pillow looking utterly defeated. I hold out my hand for her to hop onto. Jade, you did great, really. Whether it's her plant origins, or just her nature, Jade is remarkably well behaved and considerate. Unlike Ribbit, who announces every hunger pang at full volume. Daddy, I'm so hungry! Ribbit sees me ignoring him, so he grabs my arm and starts shaking. Stop shaking me! I'll fall apart, fine. I'll go find food, okay? I get out of bed and look out the window. Usually at this hour the streets are alive with activity. Now it's dead silent. Not a single soul in sight. Where am I supposed to find food like this? I deliberate for a while, and decide to go out anyway. Jade, how long can you keep that barrier shield active? She thinks for a moment. If I'm full I can hold it for a long time, but right now I'm hungry, so maybe 10 or 15 minutes at most. 10 to 15 minutes. If I move fast enough that should be enough. My destination isn't far. There's a convenience store right at the complex entrance, and a market not far beyond. Find food comes straight back. I douse myself in mosquito repellent and layer up in my thickest winter clothes. I tie off my sleeves and trouser legs with rope, then pull on a hat and 3 layers of masks. Ribbit, you take the lead. See a mosquito, eat it, every single one. Jade, right on my shoulder. The second any mosquito goes for me, throw up that barrier shield. Both of them see my dead serious expression and respond with matching serious nods. Especially Ribbit, looking like he's marching into battle. Before we leave, I grab a baseball cap, stretch it to its maximum size and force it down over Ribbit's huge head. The city is covered in surveillance cameras. If anyone spots Ribbit, they'll classify classify him as a beast on the spot. I open the door and step out carefully. The hallway is completely silent. I press the elevator button, then I step quickly behind Ribbit. Ribbit, elevator opens, you see mosquitoes, you eat. The elevator doors slide open. A massive swarm of mosquitoes explodes out of the elevator, heading straight for us. Ribbit's eyes light up, his massive mouth drops open, and his tongue shoots out like a cannon. Every mosquito from that swarm gets reeled in and swallowed whole. I exhale with relief, then actually look inside the elevator and cry out in horror. A woman is lying on the elevator floor, drained completely dry. I force down the nausea and step inside. The elevator reaches the ground floor quickly. I duck behind Ribbit and give one last reminder. Ribbit, Jade, stay sharp. If Daddy dies out there, you're both orphans. Jade stands on my shoulder, face completely serious. Daddy, I've got you, I promise. Girls really are something else. A daughter is a dad's best comfort, unlike a certain son who only thinks about his next meal. The elevator opens to silence, no swarm waiting for us. I pick up the pace, get the food and get back before the swarm finds us. The complex looks deserted, but every apartment is full of people hiding in silence. Everyone has sealed their homes, barely breathing, terrified of drawing the swarm's attention. The three of us moving through the complex definitely catches the eyes of anyone peeking through their windows. The convenience store is right at the entrance, first shop on the left. Jade, scout ahead. Check if that first shop on the left is open. I send her ahead to save us a wasted trip. Less than 30 seconds later she's back. Daddy, it's open. But there's trouble inside. I heard buzzing. Just as I suspected, beasts inside. I turn to Ribbit. Ribbit, go in, clear out every mosquito, then come back quietly. Do not make noise. Ribbit has zero objections. Eating mosquitoes is basically his calling, and it comes with a free meal. While Ribbit handles the cleanup, I duck into the security booth and start thinking through the bigger picture. First thing, how to use my blood awakening. My blood carries enormous potential. Any creature that absorbs it mutates. But these kids are still biological beings. They need to eat, and they eat a terrifying amount. Jade is barely 4 inches tall and she can put away an entire pack of noodles. And Ribbit is on a whole other level. They're my kids. They'll protect me someday. But feeding them nothing but instant noodles does make me feel a little guilty. But I'm a delivery driver. I make maybe 6 or 7,000 a month, working myself to the bone. After rent and utilities, there's almost nothing left. For now, feeding Ribbit and Jade is barely manageable, but knowing what my blood can do, I refuse to stop at just 2. I want a team. Why couldn't I have crossed into a rich kid's body? Too many kids and I genuinely can't feed them all. Since I can't go wild with it, quality over quantity it is. Right now I've got a swimmer and a defender covered. For a full land, sea and air team, I still need a flyer and a heavy hitter. 4 kids total. On my salary, I think I can just barely manage that. If I want real money, the best option is to register as a beast hunter. The bounties for killing beasts are seriously good. Even a village class beast can net tens of thousands. But the biggest problem with that job is obvious. It could get me killed. So that idea gets crossed off the list. Daddy, Big Brother's back. While I was lost in thought, Jade has been scanning our surroundings the entire time, ready to protect me. One look at Ribbit's deeply satisfied face and I know he had the time of his life in there. Daddy, I ate all the delicious food and didn't save you any. You're welcome. No more mosquitoes. Time to move. I tell Ribbit to wait outside and head in with Jade. The moment I walk in, I find the store owner lying behind a shelf, completely drained. I take a few silent seconds to pay my respects. Then I get to shopping. A few minutes later I walk out. Before leaving I place 2 bills on the counter. Then I transfer another 50 and make a point of holding the payment up to the security camera. Beast invasions happen all the time, but Blue Star's social order hasn't collapsed. Order still holds. If anything, it's stricter than before. Payment done. I slip out of the camera's view. It's only once I'm home with the door locked that my heart finally drops back down from my throat. My stomach is eating itself. Jade, did you actually eat enough this morning? I'm totally full, Daddy. She says it while twisting her tiny fingers, eyes not quite meeting mine. She's clearly lying, but I don't call her out. A kid who'd rather go hungry than burden her dad. That's a good kid. I glance over at Ribbit, who's sprawled on the sofa barely keeping his eyes open. Ribbit, hungry? Not hungry, Daddy, just sleepy. He's out before he even finishes the sentence. I stare at this happily snoring frog in disbelief. Last night he ate a bunch of mosquitoes and lasted until morning. This morning he had 3 packs of noodles. And that only lasted 2 or 3 hours. Is it something about eating beast meat? I can't figure it out. I'm pretty sure the official warnings say beast meat is not safe to consume. But if those mosquitoes count as beasts, Ribbit has eaten hundreds of them and he's completely fine. More than fine. They actually keep him full longer. I pat Ribbit's enormous head and something starts to click. What if the toxicity only applies to humans? I don't push the thought further. I get up and head to the kitchen. Ribbit may be good, but Jade and I are still starving. I cook 2 packs of noodles each for me and Jade plus 2 sausages on the side. I set a bowl on the table. The bowl itself is bigger than Jade. I take my bowl and dig in. Thank you, Daddy. But Jade doesn't eat right away. Instead, she hops onto my shoulder, gives my cheek the tiniest little kiss, and then finally starts eating. Girls really are something else. She's just too sweet. Unlike certain people who only eat and sleep. I bury my face in my bowl. I haven't properly eaten all day. Absolutely wrecked. After we're done, Jade actually tries to help wash the dishes. I look at her, she's barely taller than the bowl itself, and burst out laughing. Jade, leave the dishes to Daddy. If you fall in, Daddy's going to have to fish you out. That does the trick. She abandons the dishwashing mission entirely, and hides herself in the blanket embarrassed. I shake my head with a grin and head to the kitchen. By the time I come back out, the sky is completely dark. I do one final check of every door and window, making sure nothing is left open, and then get into bed. I scroll through short videos, and it's the same footage everywhere. Bodies drained by mosquitoes, mixed in with clips of awakened fighters captured through apartment windows, fighting off the swarm. I put my phone down, get comfortable, and pick up where my planning left off. Back in the security booth, I'd made a rough plan. Beyond Ribbit and Jade, I need 2 more. One for land, one for air. Ideally, a dragon and a tiger. They've been the rulers of sky and earth since ancient times. Dragons out, that's the stuff of myth. A few years back, a dragon-type beast did show up, and the moment it arrived, it started leveling buildings and slaughtering people. Reportedly, more than a dozen awakened died fighting it. Civilian casualties were catastrophic. It wasn't until the guildmaster of the Beast Hunters Guild arrived that the beast was finally brought down. If I remember right, the guildmaster is a level 5 awakened, which puts that dragon at city class, or higher. So stepping down from that dream, maybe a hawk or a falcon, something aggressive and airborne. Realistically, those are hard to come by. You might spot 1 or 2 circling overhead occasionally, but where am I going to find an egg? When I think it through, the only birds I can realistically get my hands on are chickens, ducks, or geese. For a land creature, tigers are completely off the table. Even at a zoo, there's no guarantee I'd find a female in the right condition. My best bet is probably a pregnant animal, and realistically, that means a dog. There's another issue I need to think about: how the kids grow. Ribbit was barely 3 feet tall when he first showed up. Now he's over that. All he's had is mosquitoes and instant noodles. Jade was born after Ribbit. She's had 2 meals of noodles, but she hasn't grown at all, and that's when it hits me. I think I know why. The one thing that separates Ribbit from Jade is the mosquitoes, and mosquitoes are beasts. Ribbit ate beast meat, and then he grew. So my theory is, kids created through my blood awakening don't just tolerate beast meat, they can actually evolve by eating it. Of course, this is all theory. I'll need to test it before I know for sure. Jade, do you like eating mosquitoes? Jade has been lying on my chest kicking her legs idly. She looks up when she hears me. She scrunches up her face. Daddy, mosquitoes are so gross. Jade doesn't want to eat those. Jade likes noodles. They smell so good. Instant noodles taste fine, but there's basically no nutrition in them. When it was just me, eating noodles to get by was fine. But now I'm a dad of 2. I need to do better than noodles. Jade won't eat mosquitoes, so that experiment is a dead end. And honestly, I can't even catch mosquitoes on my own. I can't exactly have Ribbit tongue catch mosquitoes for Jade to eat. She'd probably throw up everything she's ever eaten. Lost in thought, I drift off to sleep. When I wake up, it's the next morning. I walk out of the bedroom to find Ribbit has dragged a little stool onto the balcony with Jade perched on his shoulder. Are you 2 hungry? Daddy's making breakfast. Ribbit hears me, leaps off the stool and lands right in front of me. Daddy, you're finally up. I've been starving for ages. But Jade wouldn't let me wake you. Jade is such a good girl. Daddy will make food now. Ribbit notices he wasn't praised and latches onto my leg. Daddy, I want food too. The moment he grabs me, I notice he's grown again. I don't know if this is unique to Ribbit or if Jade will do the same once she eats the right thing. No beasts around to test my theory right now. Food first. All you think about is eating. Relax, I'm not going to forget you. Breakfast is noodles again, but this time with bread, sausage, and spicy snack strips on the side. Ribbit and Jade eat with pure joy, both completely satisfied. I pull out my phone and check the latest updates. Breaking news: the beast swarm in the East District has been fully cleared. Residents may now go outside. However, caution is still advised. Avoid dark, damp areas in case any stragglers remain. My district is the poorest in Irongate City. Predictably, it'll be the last one to get cleared. With nothing better to do, I open up a map and start figuring out where I can find a bird egg. Living on the outskirts does come with one perk: plenty of stray dogs in the area. For the air slot, I've decided to go with a chicken, ideally a fighting breed. Hours pass without me noticing, and Ribbit, this eating machine, is already back for more. Daddy, I'm hungry. I check the time. 11. Fair enough, it's lunchtime. Hold on, I'll cook. I'm coming with you. Being too small to help around the house genuinely bothers Jade. Daddy works so hard while she just eats. It weighs on her. So the one thing she can do is stay by my side, and honestly, I love it. I narrate the whole noodle cooking process to Jade standing on my shoulder. Always fill the pot with water first. Don't add the noodles until it's boiling. Daddy, when I grow taller, I'll cook for you. I feel a warmth I haven't felt in a long time. Maybe this is what parenting is supposed to feel like, especially when the kid is this thoughtful. The 3 of us finish lunch together. I go down for a nap. I'm in the middle of a dream when I get shaken awake. Daddy, wake up. Someone's downstairs. I pry my eyes open, still half asleep. Right on cue, the knock comes. Hello, enforcement squad. We're here for someone named Feng. Those 2 words hit me like cold water. Enforcement squad. Why are they here for me?
Did someone find out about Ribbit?
Jade shouldn't have been spotted. She's tiny enough to hide in a jacket pocket. But Ribbit, walking around with that enormous frog head, he's a completely different story. This could be really bad. The knocking continues, steady, relentless, like a death knell. No time to think. I rush to the living room, scoop Ribbit up and carry him to the bedroom. Both of you, under the bed now. No matter what happens out there, not a sound. Do not come out. If something happens to me, stay inside. There's food here. The noodles can be eaten dry if you have to. That's all I can tell them. If I'm in real danger, the last thing I want is for Ribbit and Jade to come after me. Cross the enforcement squad and you spend the rest of your life running and hiding like a rat. Please let this be nothing, I pray as I walk toward the front door. I open the door with my best smile. Sorry about that. I was taking a nap. You're Finn? Yes, officer, that's me. Do you know why we're here? I shake my head, doing my best to look genuinely confused. No idea. Aren't there mosquito beasts outside? You knew about the mosquito swarm and you still went outside yesterday. Oh no. Is this actually about Ribbit? But wait, that doesn't add up. If they'd spotted Ribbit, they wouldn't send 2 regular officers. There'd be an awakened with them. No time to overthink. I pull out the most harmless smile I can manage. I was absolutely desperate, hadn't eaten anything, so I worked up the courage to go find food. That tracks. Come with us. We need you to come to the enforcement bureau. That actually calms me down a little. They're taking me in for questioning, not searching the apartment. And no mention of Ribbit, which means he hasn't been compromised. As long as Ribbit stays hidden, I'll be fine. After all, I'm a perfectly law-abiding citizen. One moment, officer, let me grab my keys. I keep every movement slow and deliberate. Keys in hand, flip-flops on, I follow them out. Under the bedroom bed, Jade finally exhales when she hears the front door close. Jade, why did you stop me? I could have taken those 2 guys. What do we do now? Daddy got taken away. Who's going to feed us? Ribbit is on the verge of tears. The moment he imagines going hungry without Daddy around, the tears start coming. Daddy said, no matter what happens, we don't make a sound. We don't go out. Big brother, you have to listen. If Daddy doesn't come back, I'll cook for you. I know how to make noodles. Ribbit hears Jade say he can cook instant noodles, and just like that, his tears turn into a grin. Really? Jade, you're the best! Jade crawls out from under the bed, dusts herself off, and gives Ribbit a tired look. This brother of hers really seems to have no brain at all. Dad just got hauled away, and all Ribbit can think about is food. Dad, what are we supposed to do? Jade presses against the balcony window, watching me get pushed into the enforcement bureau vehicle below, her little heart heavy with worry. Sir, all the mosquito beasts have been cleared out. Right, otherwise I wouldn't have dared to step outside. Then officer, can you please tell me, what exactly am I being charged with? Someone has accused you of robbery. Robbery? Me? Who on earth would believe that? Has the world gone mad? Accusing me of robbery out of nowhere. Never judge a book by its cover, whether you robbed anyone or not. We'll find out at the enforcement bureau. There's nothing I can do. I'm already on the boat, no jumping off now. At the enforcement bureau, I'm thrown straight into a pitch-black holding room. 7 or 8 hours pass before anyone bothers to open the door and question me. Comrade Finn, why did you commit robbery? I didn't rob anyone. Where were you yesterday evening? The enforcement bureau hears plenty of people crying injustice. The officer questioning me doesn't flinch and just keeps going through his routine. I was home yesterday evening. I was so hungry I couldn't take it anymore. So I risked my life to go to the corner store just outside the complex. So you're admitting it? Admitting what exactly? That you went to the store outside your complex? Yes, I went to that store. Since when is buying groceries a crime? Buying things isn't a crime. But taking things without paying, that is. The officer says this like he's just cracked the case of the century. But I did pay. Impossible. The store owner says you didn't. Now I get it. That store owner has always had a short fuse, greedy to the bone, and perfectly capable of flipping the story to play the victim. I really didn't rob her. I pull out my phone and show the officer my payment history, 50 yuan. But the store owner claims I took 250 yuan worth of goods. The other 200, I paid in cash. What proof do you have that you actually paid 200 in cash? Check the security footage. The store owner says the cameras were broken. But if the cameras were broken, how does she know I was even there? And that I took exactly 250 yuan worth of stuff? Good point. How would she know? The officer goes quiet, actually thinking it over. At this point, I'm on the edge of a breakdown. A few minutes later, the officer finally works it out. It looks like the store owner has been lying. Those words hit me like a lifeline. I let out a long, slow breath. Officer, that woman is clearly trying to scam me. I paid in full and she has the nerve to call it robbery. And she lied to the enforcement bureau over 250 yuan. Doesn't that count as a crime? Of course it does. The officer doesn't say another word, just walks out and closes the door. About 10 minutes later, a younger officer steps into the room. You're Finn, right? We've looked into it. The store owner made the whole thing up. You're free to go. We're truly sorry for the trouble. The officer who questioned you was a temp we hired today. He's already been let go. We'd also like to offer you 200 yuan as compensation. It's not much. We hope you'll accept it. I'm furious inside, but there's really nothing I can say. At least it worked out. They even gave me money. Good enough. Right now, all I want is to go home. Jade I'm not worried about. It's Ribbit I'm scared of. That kid is the type to just wander off. If anyone outside catches a glimpse of him, things won't end well. By the time I make it back to the complex, it's past 1 in the morning. And right there at the entrance, that store is still open. Without a second thought, I march straight in. And let the store owner have it with every word I've got. I go through every insult I can think of, then walk out while she's still standing there with her mouth open. Then I head to the barbecue stall at the other entrance and grab 300 yuan worth of skewers to go. After all, there are 2 hungry kids waiting at home. Bags of skewers in hand, I stride back into the complex with a spring in my step. The place is dead quiet. Most of the lights are out. Home is just ahead. Then, something leaps out of the bushes along the path. I nearly drop everything in my hands. Dad, you're finally back! Ribbit bursts out of the shrubbery and throws his arms around me, sobbing loudly. Jade leaps from Ribbit's shoulder to mine and wraps her arms around my neck, refusing to let go. This isn't the place to talk. Let's get inside first. The moment the three of us are through the door, Ribbit snatches the bags right out of my hands. Dad, what is that smell? It's amazing. Way better than instant noodles. Obviously, nothing beats barbecue skewers. All you ever think about is food. Dad was gone for so long. He could have been in serious trouble and you don't even ask. Jade stands on my shoulder, glaring down at Ribbit, who is already drooling. Come on, Dad's fine, isn't he? I'm literally starving here. Jade is at a loss for words. Technically, Ribbit isn't wrong, but a little concern would be nice. It's okay, Jade. Dad brought food. I haven't known her long, but I can already tell. Ribbit is simple-minded, physically capable, and eats like a black hole. But deep down, he means well. Those tears outside were real. As long as he genuinely cares, that's enough for me. I set all the food out on the table. All three of us are starving. The skewers and stir-fried noodles look incredible, and Ribbit can't hold back a second longer. He dives in and starts stuffing his face like there's no tomorrow. Slow down. You'll choke. Ribbit grabs a fistful of skewers in each hand, opens his mouth wide, shoves the left hand's worth in, and pulls out nothing but bare sticks. 2 chews. Gone. 10 skewers just like that. In under 30 seconds, over 20 skewers have vanished. Ribbit, try this. The noodles are even better. Just as Ribbit reaches for another round of skewers, I cut him off, and slide a box of stir-fried noodles in front of him instead. I haven't even finished one skewer myself. Jade has a tiny mouth, so she eats even less. At the rate Ribbit eats, the two of us would be lucky to get 1 skewer each out of 100 yuan's worth. Ribbit grumbles but accepts it, then proceeds to stuff his face with the noodles just as aggressively. Dad, what even is this? It's so good! He praises the food between bites without missing a beat. Truly the one undeniable perk of having a giant mouth. By the end of the meal, all three of us are finally full. It's 2 in the morning, and I have to be up for work in just a few hours. I need to sleep. But before that, I have a few things to say to Ribbit and Jade. Ribbit, Jade, Dad has to go to work tomorrow. You two stay home, don't go anywhere. I'll come back at lunch to bring you food. The moment Jade hears I'm leaving again tomorrow, she leaps onto my shoulder and clings to my neck. Dad, do you have to go? When you're not here, I get scared. Ribbit runs over and grabs my arm. Yeah, Dad, you can't leave. If you go, nobody will cook for me. And I still want to use your phone. I don't want to go either. But without work, there's no money. And without money, there's no food. That last part hits Ribbit like a bucket of cold water. He snaps to attention. Go, Dad, go! We can't run out of food. I'll look after Goldie at home. I stare at him speechless. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past this kid to sell himself for a meal someday. With that settled, I finally give in to exhaustion and fall into a deep sleep. 4 or 5 hours later, I'm already dragging myself out of bed. I try to be quiet, but Jade still wakes up the moment I move. Dad, are you leaving? Yeah, I have to go. Jade, keep an eye on Ribbit. Don't let him outside. It's dangerous if anyone sees him. Jade has only been alive for a couple of days, but she carries herself with a maturity well beyond that. Last night, the only reason she went out was because it was late and the streets were nearly empty, and she was worried about me. That's the only reason she took the risk. Jade nods slowly, her little face set with complete seriousness. Don't worry, Dad. I'll keep Ribbit in line. I smile, wash up, and head out the door. Before I leave, I tear open a few packs of instant noodles and leave them on the table. Jade, Dad's heading out. If you get hungry, eat the noodles and drink the milk. Okay, Dad. Goodbye, Dad. Bye-bye. No matter how much I hate to leave, I have to. The past few days, beasts had been loose in Arongate City. Everyone stayed barricaded inside, and no supplies could get through from outside. The result? A massive backlog of deliveries. Today's workload is brutal. I don't get a break until afternoon, just enough time to dash home and drop off some food. I don't even stop to eat myself before I'm back on the road. At least the 2 kids behave. No disasters while I'm gone. I don't finish until past 10 at night, dragging myself home on empty. I stop by the barbecue stall again and grab a few portions of fried noodles and rice. Skewers every day would drain me dry. Back home, Ribbit is sprawled across the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling. Dad, you're finally back! 5 more minutes and I would have starved to death. The second Ribbit hears noise outside the door, he bounces straight to the entrance. Jade isn't far behind. Seeing them both at the door waiting for me, somehow, just like that, the exhaustion fades a little. It's not like I've never had roommates before. I even lived in a staff dormitory for a while. Cold, impersonal, nothing close to a home. Dad brought dinner. Come eat. I sit down with a box of fried rice and watch the 2 of them go to town on their food. This can't keep going like this. I have a cheat code power, and I'm still out here grinding delivery routes every single day. If any other transmigrators ever heard about this, they'd never let me live it down. But if I stop delivering, what do we eat? 6 months since I transmigrated, and I've barely saved anything. If I just burn through my savings doing nothing, it'll run out in a year. I lie in bed, turning it all over in my head. Even with transmigration and a blood awakening ability, if I can't back it up with real power, I need to keep a low profile. Play the long game. Right now I can't even take on 2 regular officers, let alone an awakened. Over the past couple of days, Ribbit hasn't grown at all. I'm starting to think his earlier growth spurt was directly tied to eating those elite beast mosquitoes. But where am I supposed to find elite beast mosquitoes now? They've all been wiped out. Do I actually have to become a beast hunter? I'd like to, but Ribbit and Jade are still so young, and I have no real way to protect myself. It's not an option. Not yet. Somewhere in the middle of all that thinking, I drift off to sleep. In the dream, I'm powerful again. Unstoppable the way I used to be. The next morning, I'm up early as usual, heading to work. During my shift, I find a moment to ask a coworker if there are any farms nearby. Turns out there is, a chicken farm right in the village where I live. Looking for eggs? Probably won't find any there. They raise chickens for meat, not eggs. So they don't sell eggs at all? I heard fertilized eggs are more nutritious. I was hoping to try a few. That's the real reason I'm asking. I have a cheat code power. Using it is just common sense. I can't keep grinding deliveries forever just to feed Ribbit and Jade. Easy fix. Just eat dead hatch eggs. Dead hatch eggs, also known as unhatched eggs or balut in some regions. During incubation, if the temperature or humidity is off, or if bacteria or parasites get in, the embryo stops developing and dies inside the shell. Those eggs get processed and sold as dead hatch eggs. Some people swear they're delicious and packed with nutrients. Others take one look and feel sick. So now I know what a dead hatch egg is. But the embryo inside is already dead, which means it almost certainly can't be hatched. Is there a version where the embryo is still alive? You clearly haven't had many of these. There are actually two kinds, the dead hatch egg and the live egg. The live egg, sometimes called a living pearl, it clicks immediately. A live egg is exactly what it sounds like. Before it's cooked, the embryo inside is still alive. Isn't that exactly what I've been looking for? A hatchable egg? So I start keeping my eyes open for street vendors selling live eggs. And pick up two before heading home. Ribbit and Jade light up the moment they see me walk in. They probably think I brought food. Instead, I walk straight past them without a glance, drop a single instruction and lock myself in the room, locking the door behind me. You two stay in the living room. I'll make dinner when I'm done. Every second counts. If I wait too long, the embryo in the live egg might die. I need to start the hatching process right now. I carefully let a drop of my blood fall onto one of the live eggs. The other one went straight into the fridge the moment I got home. A backup, in case anything goes wrong with the first. I tuck the egg away carefully, knowing Ribbit, if he spots it, it'll be down his throat before I can say a word. Then I head back out to the living room, and Ribbit immediately latches onto me. Dad, I'm starving. I haven't been full in days. What? You eat mountains of food every single meal, and you're telling me you haven't been full? Jade told me not to say anything, said Dad works hard enough and we shouldn't add to the stress. I stare at Ribbit's pitiful expression, then turn to Jade, who's perched quietly on my shoulder. Jade, are you going hungry too? No, I'm completely full. She gives her tiny belly a confident pat. Jade, you're a good kid, but you don't need to lie to me. Jade really is a good kid. So good in fact that she's terrible at lying. I can see right through her. Caught, Jade shrinks a little and murmurs, Dad, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have lied. The truth is, Jade does get hungry. She just didn't want to say so. It's not that the meals aren't enough. Right after eating she's full, but the hunger comes back so fast. She can't make it until I'm back with the next meal. I get it now. These two just burn through food at an insane rate. Wait, something just clicks. Back when I snuck out to the store that time, Ribbit ate 2 swarms of mosquitoes and then didn't complain about hunger for the entire night. That had never happened before. I'd wondered about it. Those mosquitoes seemed to fill him up in a way normal food couldn't, but only the elite beast ones. Regular mosquitoes wander in now and then. Ribbit eats those too, but he's never once said they tasted good. But I clearly remember him saying, more than once, that elite beasts taste amazing. So there must be something special about elite beasts. Something beyond just the meat. That thought sends me reaching for my phone. I pull up everything I can find on elite beasts. Elite beasts, origin unknown, wildly varying in form and exceptionally powerful. They carry a core inside their bodies, which awakened warriors can use to cultivate their power. Their flesh is lethally toxic, not fit for consumption. If an ordinary person eats it, they'll be bleeding from every opening in their head within 1 minute. Fatal, no exceptions. Even an awakened can hold on a little longer, but there's no cure. The outcome is the same. So I was right. Elite beast meat is poison. And yet Ribbit ate it, came out completely fine, called it delicious, and stayed full for hours. Let me make dinner first. I'll figure out the hunger problem. Leave that to me. A rough plan is already forming in my head. The details will take some time to work out. Living on instant noodles forever isn't sustainable, so I've been stocking up on rice and dried noodles. Tonight, I steam a full pot of rice and cook 2 big dishes. The 3 of us eat well, and for a moment, everything feels right. But it never lasts. In no time at all, both Ribbit and Jade are hungry again, like the meal never happened. Full for now, I collapse onto the sofa and keep researching on my phone. I'd always known elite beast meat was toxic, but I'd never thought about what happened to the carcasses after the Beast Hunters Guild took one down. I'd never paid attention to that part at all. But if Ribbit can eat elite beast mosquitoes, he should be able to eat other elite beast meat too. I'm going to get my hands on some elite beast meat and test that theory. As for Jade, I'll need to be more careful before trying anything with her. I take a day off and dig into what actually happens to beast corpses after a kill. For powerful elite beasts that carry a core, whoever lands the kill gets to claim it. The body gets transported to the nearest Beast Hunters Guild branch for research. Weaker beasts without a core aren't worth much to the guild. Those get handed off to the local scavengers to deal with. New species are constantly showing up, creatures nobody has ever seen before, and humans know nothing about how they behave. Some beasts, even after death, still have body fluids that can burn through almost anything. Others explode when they die, and some of the larger ones carry parasites inside their bodies. Parasites that no ordinary person has any hope of dealing with. That's what makes being a scavenger so dangerous. The pay is good, but most people won't touch the job. The awakened could handle it, but they won't lower themselves to it. Ordinary people see the paycheck, then see the risks and walk away, which makes it the perfect job for me. Assuming, of course, that Ribbit and Jade can actually eat elite beast meat, and that it fills them up. I decide to track down a piece of elite beast meat first and run the test. If it works, I'm applying to be a scavenger. I'm still thinking it through when sleep takes me. Dad, wake up, there's a fight. I'm in the middle of a good sleep when Jade yanks me awake. What's going on? Dad, Ribbit is fighting some kind of monster. Before Jade even finishes, a sharp voice cuts through the room. You're the monster! That voice sends me bolt upright. A strange voice, inside my apartment. My first thought is, beast intruder. I roll off the bed and duck behind the sofa. Ribbit is standing in the middle of the living room, his tongue shooting out in rapid bursts, so fast it's barely more than a blur. Facing him is a small figure darting and weaving around the room at incredible speed. The two of them are locked, in a standoff. I blink, completely lost. When did someone this fast end up in my apartment? Thank goodness for Ribbit and Jade. Without them, I'd have been done for without even knowing why. Dad, this monster just appeared out of nowhere. Don't be scared, I'll take care of it. I can't help but marvel. He's snapping his tongue at full speed and still managing full sentences. Dad, this thing is awful. I just hatched and it attacked me right away. That sharp little voice is one I've never heard before, but the moment it says Dad, everything falls into place. There was a live egg in my room, so this tiny blur zipping around the apartment calling me Dad must be what just hatched from it. Hey, both of you, stop fighting right now. To their credit, they both freeze the moment I shout. Now I can actually see her, barely half a meter tall, with arms and legs, sparse feathers scattered across her body, and unmistakably, a chicken's head. She's crouched on top of the cabinet, and on her back, a tiny pair of wings. She spreads them, pushes off with both legs, and lands right in front of me in an instant. Dad, he was mean to me, he's terrible, do something, just look at him. Anyone that ugly has to be trouble. The so-called monster, Ribbit, opens his mouth to fire back, but somehow can't get a word in. Stop! My head is spinning from all the noise. One shout is all I've got. She stops. For about half a second. Dad, why are you so mean? How could you yell at me? I'm your daughter. Instant regret. I had no idea chickens were this loud. I point to Ribbit and explain, that's your brother. His name is Ribbit. He fought you because he didn't know who you were. The little chicken girl tilts her head and studies Ribbit for a moment. Then she turns back to me and nods. Okay, I'll do whatever Dad says. I'm genuinely touched. They're a strange bunch, but they all look up to me and that means everything. Ribbit, she's your little sister. Her name is Goldie. We're all family. From now on you treat each other well. No fighting. Understood? Got it, Dad. I don't want to fight anyway. Fighting makes me hungry. Dad, I'm hungry again. I've nothing to say. Everything, somehow, always comes back to food with this kid. Fine, I'll cook. Consider it a welcome dinner for the newest member of this family. Before I head to the kitchen, I scoop Goldie up for a closer look. I want to see what I'm working with. Her feathers are patchy and unevenly spread, but soft to the touch. My guess is that once she grows up, those feathers will cover her entire body. They might even harden into something like armor, tough enough to defend against attacks. That's how it works in fantasy novels at least. Bird-type beast characters almost always get that ability. I've already seen how fast she moves in short bursts. What I don't know yet is whether her straight-line speed is just as impressive. And those wings, I'm hoping that once she fully develops, she'll actually be able to fly. Picture it, me sitting cross-legged on her back, soaring through the sky without a care in the world. Just thinking about it feels incredible. I look at her hands and feet. The palms and heels are fairly human-looking, but her fingers are long and sharp as awls, with nails that shimmer with a dark, oily sheen. One jab from those, and she'd punch clean through. Her feet are essentially a chicken's. No surprises there. 4 toes, all just as razor-sharp as her fingers. So between the claws on her feet and the spike-like fingers on both hands, she's a serious threat up close. Though I do have to wonder why all my kids ended up with such distinctive heads. Ribbit's frog head and Goldie's chicken head are hard to miss. Jade is the only one who looks remotely human. Oh well. A beak is still a weapon. I'll take it. I've made my peace with it. You can't have everything. As long as they give me a fighting chance out there, the rest doesn't matter much. With one more mouth to feed, a full pot of rice barely covers it. I have to boil extra noodles just to keep everyone from going to bed hungry. After dinner I settle in and start giving the 3 of them a basic rundown of how this world works. The main message? They don't look like regular humans, and under no circumstances can they let anyone outside see them. I say it 3 times to make sure it lands. 2 hours in, Ribbit announces he's hungry, and now there's Goldie, who clearly has the same habit, and even less self-restraint. I go make food again. My original plan was to hatch one more child before applying for the scavenger job, but that's clearly not going to happen. Money-wise I can manage, as long as I'm not cooking feasts every meal. The savings can stretch for about 6 months. Time is the real issue. These 3 little ones burn through food faster than I can earn it. So after the second dinner I gather the 3 of them and lay it out clearly. Stay home, all 3 of you. Don't open the door for anyone and don't go outside. I've got somewhere to be. Don't worry, Dad. I'll keep an eye on both of them, Jade promises, patting her chest with full confidence. Easily the most responsible of the 3. Ribbit is manageable, just food obsessed. Goldie, on the other hand, has been chirping non-stop since she arrived. She can't sit still either. She's already lapped the apartment dozens of times, not just walking, poking at this, scratching at that. I'm starting to think their personalities are shaped by whatever they hatched from. Frog, slug, chicken. That explains a lot. Which makes me want to hatch something from a dog even more. Dogs are loyal to the bone. They're calm, they're quiet, and they can guard the place. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go hunting for a pregnant stray right now. I head straight out to the Beast Hunters Guild Orangate branch to apply for the scavenger position. I explain why I'm there. And under the wide-eyed stare of the receptionist, I fill out the application form. You really want to think this through. The scavenger job is incredibly dangerous. I've already made up my mind. Without the slightest hesitation, I'm sure. Thanks for your help. Alright then, I'll submit this for you. If you're approved, we'll give you a call. The receptionist watches me walk away, and lets out a quiet sigh. Another one chasing money with no regard for his life. Kind of cute too. What a waste. By the time I get home, evening has settled in. Groceries in hand, I go straight to the kitchen without being asked. I assumed it would take days to hear back, but the Beast Hunters Guild calls before dinner is even ready. My application has been approved. All I need to do is report to the scavenger base at my earliest convenience. Too late tonight. I'll head there first thing tomorrow morning. After dinner I go back to educating the three of them. A bit of everything. Most of it naturally is about elite beasts. Given what's coming, they need to know. I end up cooking twice more in the middle of the night. Barely sleep a wink. The next day my alarm hasn't even gone off before I'm pulled from sleep. This time it's not Ribbit. It's Goldie. Dad, I'm hungry. Great. Another little tyrant demanding breakfast. If I can't get a regular supply of elite beast meat, I'm going to lose my mind. After breakfast, I give the usual instructions and head out again. My plan was to track down some elite beast meat first and test it, but after a long search online, it becomes clear that getting your hands on any is not easy at all. Apparently, when a beast shows up, the awakened are the first to respond. Scavengers follow, but they hang back at a safe distance. Once the awakened bring the beast down, the scavengers move in immediately and handle the remains. The problem goes back to the early days, when people didn't understand beasts at all. Some assumed the meat had to contain useful energy, and brought it home to eat. Every single one of them died. To stop the deaths from piling up, the Beast Hunters Guild issued a rule: all beast carcasses must be cleared away immediately. I hop on my electric cargo bike and ride out toward the edge of the city. Half an hour later, I arrive at the legendary scavenger base. It sits close to the river, surrounded by stretches of wasteland and flood control forest, with a single row of buildings standing alone in the middle of it all. So this is the scavenger base. It's bleak, even by my standards. I park by the front gate, steel myself, and knock on the heavy iron door. Hello? Anyone there? Woof woof woof. The only answer I get is barking. Hello? Is anyone home? I'm here to report in. I raise my voice. More barking. Not scared. There's a solid iron door between me and whatever's on the other side. A minute or two passes, then a raspy, aged voice calls out. Lucky enough. The barking cuts off the moment the old man speaks. A rattling sound, and the iron door swings open from within. A tall figure steps out, an old man with a full head of silver-white hair. Unless I heard wrong, you said you're here to report in? I nod, then hold up my phone and show him the confirmation message from the guild. That's right, I'm reporting for duty, so there really are people with a death wish. Come in. He clasps his hands behind his back and leads the way inside. I follow. Once through the gate, the yard opens up, far bigger than I expected. Several vehicles are parked in the middle, and every other patch of ground is covered in vegetable and fruit plants. He leads me to a small gazebo set with a table and chairs, a teapot sitting on the table. He drops into his chair and gestures to the seat across from him. You're young. Why would you throw your life away like this? I genuinely don't get it. How dangerous can being a scavenger actually be? Why does everyone who hears about my career choice look at me like I've already written my will? I'm not throwing anything away. I just need the money. Right. Another one chasing money with no regard for his life. He takes a sip of tea and gestures at the yard. Do you know how many people used to work here? At peak? I shake my head. At the peak, this place was packed wall to wall. So many people that rooms ran out, and people had to sleep in tents. And now? Now it's just me. What happened to everyone else? Did they quit? Quit? If dying counts as quitting, then sure, they all quit. Dead? They're all dead? The tea burns my tongue. I nearly spit it out. Every single one of them? He nods. Job listings really can't be trusted. Some danger involved. This isn't some danger. This is a death sentence with no way out. But if they all died, how am I still alive, right? He reaches down and strokes the large yellow dog lying beside him. Lucky, I honestly don't know. Someone once told me I have some kind of natural toxin resistance. Then he gives me a rough history of how the scavengers came to exist. In the beginning, there were no scavengers at all. When beasts first started appearing on this world, the authorities handled the carcasses after the awakened brought them down. When the Beast Hunters Guild was eventually established, all research on beasts fell under their jurisdiction. After years of study, the guild confirmed that beast carcasses do contain a form of special energy, but it can't be used by humans, because the flesh contains an unknown compound that no one has been able to identify. To this day, no one knows exactly what it is. What is known is that it's completely harmless to beasts, but lethal to humans. Powerful elite beasts, however, tend to carry something else, a core. Most of a beast's strength comes from this core. It can be swallowed directly, delivering a massive surge of pure concentrated power at an instant, but if the person isn't strong enough to handle it, the body can't contain it, and it tears itself apart. The safer approach is to carry it on your person and absorb the energy gradually over time, slower, but steady, and far less likely to kill you. After that discovery, the guild started placing far more value on cores. The carcasses themselves became less and less of a priority. Only the remains of the most powerful beasts were still worth transporting to guild headquarters for study. Everything else got destroyed on the spot, and that's where scavengers came in. The job is straightforward: collect beast carcasses, haul them to a remote location, and burn them. Not unlike a cremator at a funeral home really. With only so many awakened to go around, all of them needed to fight beasts. The cleanup work was passed on to ordinary people. At first the pay wasn't much, but as scavengers kept dying on the job, the guild kept raising wages and increasing the compensation paid to families. But the death rate kept climbing, until eventually, no one dared to take the job at all. Kid, do you genuinely not know how dangerous this is, or are you just chasing money with no regard for your life? I can tell he means well. He's trying to talk me out of it. I know the risks. I still want to do it. And you're still standing, aren't you? He takes an unhurried sip and turns the question back on me. Do you know how old I am? I study him properly for the first time. The hair is completely silver, the face is deeply lined, and if I'm not mistaken, his back was a little hunched when he walked. I'd say you must be pushing 60, I tell him, though in my head I'm thinking closer to 70. But tact is a life skill. You don't just say what you're thinking. He lets out a short laugh. I'm 45. Finn spits out his tea. Didn't see that coming, did you? When I first took this job, I looked nothing like this. Back then I was 1.85 m, 85 kilograms, built like a soldier, 5 years as a scavenger, and you can see what's left. Still want the job? I don't answer. Instead, I ask something else. If it's this dangerous, why are you still doing it? Rex shifts in his seat, eyes drifting somewhere distant. You think I wanted this job? I didn't have a choice. As the conversation goes on, I learn his name, Rex, and the story behind him. Rex was a soldier. He worked his way up to platoon leader. Before the beast showed up, life was comfortable enough. It had been years since anyone had seen real combat. When the beasts first arrived, the awakened were disorganized, scattered and leaderless. Many of them were actively dangerous to the people around them. Back then, it fell to soldiers to handle both the beasts and the rogue awakened. After a string of brutal engagements, Rex's entire platoon was reduced to just him. To take care of his fallen comrades' families, Rex left the military. Every coin of his discharge pay went to those families. Then he worked himself to exhaustion, day after day. But a platoon of 30 to 40 men, each with family of their own. What he earned was a drop in the bucket. So Rex became a scavenger. Fast money. That was the reason. Don't the families of fallen soldiers receive compensation? They do. Then I don't follow. If there's already a pension in place, why push himself this hard? Rex seems to read my expression. The truth is, I can't get past it. Watching my brothers fall one by one right in front of me, that's not something most people will ever understand. If I hadn't thrown myself into earning for their families, I think I would have ended it myself by now. I don't fully understand it, but I respect it. I don't know much about what soldiers carry home with them, but I've heard enough to know it's real. What about your own family? Gone. Long gone. The beasts took them all. Rex says it without a trace of emotion, like he's reading someone else's story from a page. That's also why I keep doing this. Consider it revenge. Rex turns it back on me. And you? Why are you here? Just felt like it, I say. I've been on my own since I was a kid anyway. Fine. Then the job is yours. The Irongate branch receives 300,000 a month. You get 80,000. The rest is mine. There are plenty of rooms here. Pick one, or take the separate unit next door if you want your own space. Rex tosses me a key, stands up, and heads back inside.